Have you started avoiding people not because you're angry, but because you feel quietly exhausted inside? The phone rings and you let it go to voicemail. A friend stops by and you pretend not to hear the knock. You're not being rude. You've just changed. Society often says being alone means something's wrong. But here's the truth. As we get older, we start to need more peace and quiet. And that's not a weakness, it's a sign of emotional maturity. Based on years of psychological research and thousands of real-life stories, we're about to share a truth that many men over 50 have never heard but deeply need to. By the end of this video, you'll understand why being around people drains you more than ever, how solitude can protect your mind and body, and why you should never feel guilty for choosing peace over noise. One man said, "I used to be afraid of silence. Now, I crave it. And for the first time in years, I feel like myself again." So if you've been wondering why you want to be alone more and more, you're not broken, you're waking up. And this might be the most important message you hear today. So let's get real about love. Not the kind sold in movies, not the one that burns fast and fades, but the kind that builds slowly, the kind that doesn't ask you to shrink or sacrifice your peace. Because love, at this stage, isn't about butterflies, it's about nervous systems feeling safe. It's not about someone who completes you, it's about someone who respects what you've already completed. True love isn't possession, it's partnership. It's waking up next to someone and still liking who you are around them. It's conversations that feel like exhale, not performance. It's not perfect, but it's honest. It's not flashy, but it's steady. You see, after 50, love becomes less about excitement and more about alignment. Are your values in sync? Do your silences feel peaceful or heavy? Can you grow together, not just grow old? So if you found yourself feeling less romantic and more intentional, that's not a loss. That's wisdom. And in just a moment, we're going to share 3 quiet signs that the relationship you're in or the one you're about to attract is built on truth, not illusion. Stay with us, because what comes next might redefine what love means to you forever. And sometimes, love finds us when we least expect it. There's a man we once knew, quiet, hardworking, not one for big gestures. He met a woman who didn't stand out in a crowd. She wasn't flashy, she didn't flirt, but something about her honesty, her simplicity, stayed with him. He told us she looked like the kind of person who could be taken advantage of, and I just didn't want that to happen to her. So he did something rare. He married her, not because of fireworks, but because of a quiet wish to protect what was good in the world. But here's the twist. It wasn't her who needed saving. It was him. Because that woman, the one he thought he was helping, became the one who helped him go back to school, who stood by him when money was tight, who believed in his dreams when he was ready to give up. Today, they live simply, happily. Not with wealth or fame, but with a kind of peace that only comes when 2 people build each other up, day by day. And maybe that's the deeper truth we all need to hear. Don't chase sparks. Be someone's calm. Don't wait for perfect. Start with kindness. Because sometimes what begins as a quiet wish to protect someone leads to a life where we are the ones truly protected. So if you're still waiting for love, maybe it's already waiting for the calmest, clearest version of you. And she'll recognize you. Not by your charm, but by your peace. After 50, everything begins to quiet down. Not because you're weaker, but because you're wiser now. Back then, one rude comment could light a fire in you. You'd react, explain, try to fix things. But now, you pause, you breathe, you notice not just the other person, but yourself. You begin to ask, where is this feeling coming from? Is this about them or something in me that needs healing? What part of me needs to be seen, soothed, or simply left in peace? The light of maturity doesn't blind. It's soft, it's steady, and it helps you see clearly inside. You begin to realize, not every trigger is a threat. Sometimes it's a teacher. You stop trying to prove yourself. You stop always being the peacekeeper. You stop stretching beyond your limits just to please. You choose something else now, peace, and you protect it, because your energy is not for sale. You used to be the one who planned everything, held everything together, stayed calm even when falling apart inside. You said, "It's okay," even when it wasn't. You took the high road again and again. But now, you ask a question you never used to. Who holds that space for me? If the answer is no one, you feel it. Not as bitterness, but as burnout. That's emotional labor. And yes, men carry it too, more than we're allowed to admit. You were taught to be the rock, but even rocks crack under pressure. So you begin to step back, not from love, but from overextending. You no longer want someone who needs saving. You want someone who meets you halfway. It's not that we fear vulnerability. We fear being vulnerable, alone. When you were younger, love felt like fire. Big emotions, highs and lows. But now, you know better. Love that burns too hot, burns out fast. You're done with chaos. Now, love feels like a calm voice, a quiet room, a woman who honors your peace, not tests your limits. You don't ask, is she into me? You ask, is she emotionally present? You don't chase the butterflies. You seek clarity. Because real intimacy isn't built in drama, it's built in the quiet moments. Making coffee, sitting in silence, being fully seen and still fully accepted. And when you find that, it's not flashy, it's not loud, it's better, it's solid, it's safe, it's steady. Because true connection doesn't come from chaos, it comes from feeling understood. And the older you get, the clearer it becomes. You don't want someone to complete you. You want someone complete within herself, so you both can grow, not depend. That's love after the storm. Love that doesn't need fixing. Love that finally lets you rest. Love after 50 isn't loud like fireworks. It's warm like evening light, soft, steady, and deeply grounding. If this message speaks to you, or if you're ready to build a life that feels calmer, clearer, and more you, hit subscribe and join us here on Timeless Wisdom. Because peace isn't just a feeling. It's a practice, and you deserve it.